These are the worst Gooner deaths ever.
The asphyxiation gooning incident. On June 14th, 1994, a 38-year-old man left his small home in Asheville, North Carolina.
Wait, 30-year-old and you still gooning? Don't you have a wife and something? Nah, bro. People are this despicable. They are 30 something years old, but they're still gooning. They got a wife, they got children, but you still gooning. Yep.
Telling his family he was going for an evening walk to clear his mind. He often visited a wooded area behind.
What I thought. He told his family that he was going out to catch some air.
Outdoor clothing and carrying a small backpack, he walked into the tree line just before sunset, disappearing into the dense, quiet forest. As daylight faded, he ventured farther off the main path than usual, eventually stopping in a secluded clearing about 50 yards from the trail. He set down his backpack, removed several personal items, and began preparing an arrangement using a rope tied between two sturdy trees. The setup appeared practiced, done with deliberate care, suggesting this was not the first time he had been in this spot or engaged in this ritual. As night deepened, the man engaged in a sequence that involved controlled pressure and suspended positioning. At some point during the process, however, he shifted his weight incorrectly or misjudged.
Is this nigga committing suicide or what? Because this looks like it's a death. What's that again? It's a suicide mission for show, nigga. If you wanna die, do this, please. I ain't encouraging no one, but if you wanna die, you just gotta do this.
The timing. The rope system, meant to allow controlled release, failed to do so once he lost consciousness. The moment he blacked out, his body became completely unsupported. Without the ability to adjust himself or break free, he remained suspended in a kneeling position, slumped forward and unable to breathe. Hours passed, and the forest remained quiet and undisturbed. The next afternoon, on June 5th...
Fact, why would a married woman ever... Why would a married man ever want to do this? You got a wife, you got children, you got everything you need. But you still got a goon. Bro, you're despicable. I'm telling you right now, you're despicable.
A group of hikers walked along the same trail, taking advantage of the warm weather. About half an hour into the hike, one of them noticed something odd. When they moved closer and saw the unmoving posture of the kneeling figure, they realized something was wrong. They immediately called 911. When paramedics arrived, they confirmed he had been dead for many hours. Investigators recognized the pattern as a classic case of accidental death during a private, high-risk solitary act of gooning, the Goonside incident.
So wait, you died because you were gooning, which means there's no heaven for you. You are gooning. There's no heaven for you, my guy. I ain't lying. I ain't gonna lie. What you did was you just wanted to do that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You just wanted to do that. You wanted everything from the death to the gooning to leaving your children alone without their pops. What was that? I ain't gonna lie, my good man. You just wanted your death.
On January 8th, 2025, a 27-year-old man named Nautica Malone drove his sedan.
Same. 27-year-old, then you still gooning.
Into the drive-through lane of Bikini Beans Coffee in Tempe, Arizona, just after 7 a.m. He had left home unusually early that morning, according to his family, saying he needed fresh air and a change of scenery.
What do you mean? No one knows where you are and you already left?
Approached the service window, a barista preparing for the morning rush noticed him rolling forward at a slow, measured pace. When he reached the window, she greeted him, expecting a routine order. But within seconds, she realized Nautica had no pants on. She pulled out her phone and began recording the encounter, capturing the man's...
Yeah, no pants on? Damn, man, that's
fake expression as he sat behind the wheel. The video lasted only a few seconds before the car eased forward and exited the lane. The clip was shared privately at first, circulating among co-workers, but by late afternoon it had been forwarded again and again until someone uploaded it to social media. Within hours, it was widely circulating across multiple...
Why would someone post it in social media for the first thing? Bro, that nigga was naked and you still posted him on social media? Nah, bro. Whoever posted that is so despicable. I ain't gonna lie.
Platforms, gathering captions, jokes, and commentary. Over the next 2 days, Malone withdrew from friends and family. According to relatives, he stayed mostly in his room, leaving only briefly to pick up mail or get water. He ignored calls.
I ain't gonna lie. I would also not stay. I would not get out because this is so embarrassing. Everyone knows you on social media and you weren't wearing your own pants. Bro, that's so bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
disabled several of his social media accounts and stopped responding to messages. His brother later told reporters that the shame and public attention seemed to overwhelm him almost
Yeah,
instantly. And on the morning of January 11th, Malone left home
he was
quietly.
dead.
He drove west toward Goodyear, Arizona, taking a long, looping route along the highway, avoiding busier exits. At some point during the drive, he called his brother, but the call went unanswered. When the brother returned the call minutes later, it rang without response. Just after 3 p.m., a passerby walking through a quiet parking area near a small business park noticed a black sedan parked at an odd angle beneath a tree. The engine was off, and the driver inside appeared completely still. The passerby approached slowly and tapped on the window, but there was no movement. Alarmed, they dialed 911 and reported an unresponsive person in a vehicle. Police and paramedics arrived within minutes.
Facts.
After forcing the door open, responders determined Malone had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, with the estimated time of
What?
death several hours earlier. A firearm was recovered inside the vehicle. On his phone, officers found a short message addressed to his family, written earlier that morning, apologizing for the pain he felt he had caused them. The falling Gooner
Nah,
incident. On March
bro.
18th,
Nah, bro. That's so painful. Your family, everyone. Nah, that's still digging me inside. I shouldn't have watched this. What? I understand this nigga's pain for sure, bro. I understand the pain. I would also do that, but I wouldn't kill myself. I would just be depressed the rest of my life, have anxiety, but I would never kill myself. I ain't gonna lie.
2011, a 32-year-old man returned to
They're 2 year old.
a studio apartment after a long work shift. He dropped his keys on the counter, turned on his TV for background noise, and headed straight for the bathroom. A few minutes later, he decided he wanted to goon. He brought a small stool from the living room and placed it beside the bathtub. He propped his phone upright against a shampoo
Wait, you just decide you wanna goon? Bro, it's so crazy, bro.
bottle, playing a video he wanted to goon to. Based on the coroner's office reconstruction, he climbed onto the small stool so he could goon in a certain position. But the stool wasn't stable on the slippery bathroom tiles. While he was in action, the stool suddenly slid out from under him. He lost his balance instantly. He fell backward, hitting his head hard on the edge of the bathtub, and was
Oh, I understand that death. You got a concussion. Nah, so painful. I imagine this nigga's pain right now, bro.
knocked unconscious immediately. With no one else in the apartment to help him, he stayed on the floor without ever waking up. When he didn't show up for work the next morning, his co-workers requested a welfare check. The landlord entered the apartment and found the scene unchanged. The phone still playing, the stool overturned, and the man lying on the bathroom.
Oh, so your boss found you naked? Your boss found you, hmm, and all of that? Nah, that's cool. As for me, I wouldn't do that. Your boss found you naked? Nah, I understand that, but it's not embarrassment because you weren't living anymore. You weren't, I understand, so let's stop.
Where he had fallen. Paramedics were called to the scene and they confirmed he had died from a head injury caused by the fall.
Yeah, I understand.
On June 11th,
The latter incident. By the way, I am asking for forgiveness because there is no outro. But if you enjoy the video, please subscribe, like, and share this to your friends and family. And that's it. So, Brodiase out. Watch the next video, please.